What's going down, ladies and gentlemen? It is 8, actually 8:30. So yeah, I think we're about to get started because here's the thing. I got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Man, I got a lot to talk about tonight. So I hope you guys are ready. Matter of fact, we're gonna go ahead and run our promo thing and get going. Big What's going down, ladies and gentlemen? It's your guy Fearless Cummings here. What's up, Jer Bear? How's it going, my guy? Rebecca, sister-in-law, how are you, dear? So, man, today, I can't believe it. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but today is season 5, episode 40. I'm sitting over here clapping like I'm a proud father of myself. Today, ladies and gentlemen, today is episode 40. What? I know y'all like, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Are you serious? Dead ass. Episode 40 was on. My guy Jerry's in the building. My girl Renita, the mad scientist, is in the building. Today, guys, we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to unpack. Thank you, Rebecca. Today is episode 40. We've been doing this for 40 days. 40 days, y'all. What? 40. I love it. Either way, I'm with it. Okay. So we're going to also kind of jump in because y'all was like, now let's just jump. Let's just go. So I'm do exactly what the team said and jump right on in. So before I get started, how's you guys' day been? How about we start there? Let's start with your day, and then we'll go from there. How about that? How's your day been? My day, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was epic. It was amazing. I helped a young man obtain his first job today. Hello, Melissa. I helped a guy get ready for his first job today. It felt good. It felt absolutely amazing. He's working at one of my favorite places, Godfather's. They hired him. I was so happy to hear that. So today was his first day. I just got off the phone with him. He said, "Man, it was great." I had to tell him, "Listen, man, just because you vape don't mean you get to walk off and go vape. We're not doing that. They will let you go for stuff like that. So stop." He said, "Okay, I didn't know that. They told you?" I said, "Bro, I know everything. Don't do that." He said, "All right, I won't." She said, "I've been snapping on my kids all afternoon." Perfect. They need it. Because life's going to do way bad. Life is going to do way worse to them kids. Give it to them. So, anywho, like I said before, today, ladies and gentlemen, day 40. Day 40. I'm very happy about this. I don't know if you could tell, but I am. I'm very happy about this because I didn't have to start, but I did. I didn't have to start, but I did. And you guys have taken this journey with me, and I appreciate it. But like my sis says, no, 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 we're not going to play with you. Let's get started. So without further ado, we're just going to get started. So yesterday we talked about um, how to change and rewire our belief system. I'm not going to lie to you. I think yesterday, I think that we tapped into something pretty awesome. I think that we tapped into something kind of awesome yesterday. Um, and today I just wanted to just jump in and just get started because again we started like 15 minutes like after the 15-minute mark. So I think that we can do a little better. So I'm gonna just jump on in if you guys don't mind. My name is Fearless Cummings. I am a certified life coach. I've been coaching for the last 23 years. The school that I attended was the Meta Institute. The certifications that I hold are plentiful. I have a certification in therapeutic coaching, NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, master practitioner, master hypnotherapist, as well as master practitioner of humanistic neuro linguistic psychology. Fucking mouthful, but we're here. I do come with a warning, and we're going to switch it up just a little bit because I tell people that if you're easily offended, this is not for you. Um, I also want to add, again, if you get uncomfortable easily, this isn't for you. When you step into after you see this picture, it means it's time to work. I'm going to challenge your beliefs. I'm going to challenge your reality. I'm going to challenge how you think about things and sometimes even why you think about certain things. If you're not willing to put in the work, take any accountability, or expand your thinking, Jerry, sis, will you tell these amazing individuals exactly what they want? Will you tell our new spectators what they've won? But for those of you who are interested in taking some accountability, that are interested in digging in here, doing the work, accepting accountability, responsibility for your actions, pull up a chair and welcome to Axe Fearless. You guys ready? Thank you, Jerry Bear. You may fuck off and kick rocks. And like my sis would say, swipe left. Right? That's how we get down. So as a life coach, I repeat a lot of this stuff constantly. Repetition is key. Anything worth knowing, learning, teaching, or understanding revolves around this one word. One of the things that I tell people is please go grab a pen pad or whatever you need to focus. Okay? That includes snacks, drinks, blankets, snuggie. An open mind, obviously. Walkie-talkies if you need them. I don't know. Just get comfortable. Okay? So what am I here to do versus what am I not here to do? I'm not here to motivate you because you don't need motivation. If I have to keep motivating you, then trust me, whatever it is that you want, you don't want it that bad. I'm not here to coddle or sugarcoat anything. A kind word, yes, but I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I can't want your dream more than you. Okay? So do the work. Otherwise, like my bro Jerry said, fuck off. Number 4, I'm not here to fix you because you're not broke. Ding, scratched, bent, scuffed, scarred, maybe. Broke, not at all. So what am I here to do? I change this thing periodically. Today is listen, ask questions, and reframe. That's where we're at. So that's what I'm sticking with. As your life coach, as your host for the evening, as a police officer would ask you for 3 things if they pulled your goofy ass over for a myriad of different things. I would ask the same exact thing. But I'm not going to ask you for your license, registration, or proof of insurance. I will instead be asking you, what are your dreams, goals, aspirations, and values? What are the Constitution in which you stand on, principles, rules, regulations, stuff like that? And do you have a mission statement that you use or that you live by? If you don't, maybe we should probably create one. What do you guys think about that? I think that's pretty good. And Please ask me as many questions as you possibly can, because I am only here to help. Okay. I know this stuff like the back of my hand because I'm the one who created it. You, on the other hand, don't know this stuff. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. All I'm going to ask you to do is participate in whatever questions I'm asking you. Okay. Now, with that, could you guys please, on whatever platform you're on, like, subscribe, and post, repost, whatever we're doing here? Because apparently, if you're talking to me and vice versa, YouTube, Instagram, what else do I have up here? Twitch, apparently, it sends algorithms to Facebook and everybody else that there's some type of activity going on over here. So that would actually kind of help me out a little bit. Okay. And it would help you out a little bit too, because when I get that farm that we want, where we all going to live, right? Come on now. I succeed, we succeed. That's how that works. I win the lottery. If I win the lottery, we won the lottery. You feel me? All right. Rebecca, I'm done. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what I'm going to ask you for, because this is a part of our ritual. This is a reason why people want to experience this whole Ask Fearless thing. That's why we have 7,000 people here today. Again, you got to have some wishful thinking, yes? Can I get my hell yeah? Give it to me. Fall in line and give me my hell yeah so we can get this motherfucker started. Don't worry, we ain't monetizing shit here. Although we should, but come on now. This is not going to be monetized for quite some time. So let's have some fun and hell yeah my shit. Let's go. Thank you, Jer Bear. Thank you, my Renita, my mad scientist. Always working. Rebecca. He said, if I won the lottery, I will buy you a steak dinner, Phil. Thank you, Mr. Christopher Dady. Thank you, guys. Look at you go. I'm loving it. I appreciate you guys. Every one of y'all. All 7,000 of you. Thank you. Round of applause for you guys. Wow, this is so crazy. Stop, cut it out. You guys remember that? Who did that? Cut it out. Who did that? Tell me who did that. Good evening, Yachty. Who did the cut it out? Let's get started. I wish I had that horn thing. Whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. Come on, man. Let's get going. There it is. Dave Collier. Of course, Rebecca would know that shit. There it is. Hey, Miss Anya. Yadira. All right, so, and we got it all done within 15 minutes. Now what, Rebecca? Now what? I was it right. Full House too, though, right? Full House too. And Joy Gladstone from Full House, of course, Miss Anya. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about our belief system, and we had some really. I appreciate you, Jerry. Thank you, kind sir. Yes. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because the cut it out thing, he did that before. Then he took it into Full House. You're right. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, yesterday we were here, we were talking about how questions change. I think I was supposed to put it to how to stop. How to question, change, rewire our beliefs, which I think we had talked about that previously before. We did a lot of amazing work yesterday. Do you guys agree? I think that we I think that we did a lot of great work and I want to kind of build on top of what we already built on. If you guys are okay with that, which I told you yesterday, that's what we're gonna do. We are going to build on what we already did yesterday. Now today, you don't know what I actually had planned after that, but I went ahead and kind of redesigned everything. I went into my bag of tricks and I said, I want to create something that's going to be simple and easy to remember. I don't want something that you guys are going to be all over the place. I want you to have something. Hey, hold on, don't. She said, no, you won't. You can give him the cash and he can get that himself. I love that too. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, but yeah, so we had a lot going on yesterday. A lot of like I walked yesterday was the first time I've done this. 40 episodes today, y'all. That I walked away and I felt emotionally drained and rejuvenated at the same time. Let me get a high if you felt the same way. Emotionally drained and still felt rejuvenated at the same time, if that makes any sense. How many of you guys felt the same way that I did about a lot of this that we talked about yesterday? It almost, and I even talked to Jerry a little bit about that today. And I was like, man, like, dude, I like last night was just, but I don't know about y'all. Like, I literally walked away feeling like closer to you guys, if that makes any sense, right? Like, I felt amazing about just getting that information out there. And Renita, I want to give you a special shout out, and I want to give you I want to give you, and it's so funny because I didn't even see your message until just now, but I want to give you a special shout out and thank you, um, for suggesting a little bit that like this whole thing or whatever, especially between you and Rebecca and Jessica stating that, but I think it was like I had asked the question and then you were like, no, because you kind of reframe it a little bit, and I wanted to do that, and I thought that would be important, but I didn't know how important that would actually be in our healing together. So I want to say thank you guys for participating yesterday. I mean, I fucking loved it. So thank y'all. Um, so today what I created was I want to show you. Hold on, I don't know if I can. Okay, hold on. Is this it? Okay, this is it. So I'm going to show you guys this little grid thing that I created. Give me 1 second. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Come on. I can actually. Okay, can I do a slide? PDF. Nope, it's not going to let me do that. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I have to actually go out of it. And then I have to create this. Okay, where's my quadrant? Window. There we go. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So this is what I created for you guys. So this is called it's called like a 4-step reframing quadrant. So, and I'm gonna go through each and every one of these with you guys, and hopefully by the it's I will also make sure if you guys want a copy of this, I will send it to you directly. Because I didn't know how to get it where you guys could just piece it together. So, I think that there's some type of copy in the description, but it's not like this. This right here is a clean version. So let me explain how it works first. So the first step is name the frame, right? And like we talked about before, we have to name the problem before we can actually solve it. First off, we got to find it, right? What is it? So then we describe what it is, what we're going through, and now we can name it. When you can name it, then we can go to the second part, which is now we can. Oh, Jerry said I would love a copy of that. Everybody's saying, "Oh my God, I get it." Okay, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I promise you, I will send you a copy. Don't worry. Um, and so So again, I wanted to make this so simple for you guys that you guys can take it, print it out, do whatever you wanted to do, teach it to other people, whatever. I don't give a shit. I just want to hand it to you. So the other part of it, the second part of the quadrant is challenge the facts. To challenge the facts. Well, Johnny said I need a copy too. Yada, ya dear, I got you there. Um, quadrant number 3 is rebuild the belief. So remember when we were talking last night and we were talking about the issue, but for the most part, y'all, we mainly stayed in 1 and 2. So we'll probably touch on those again tonight, but we're really going to be on 3 and 4, the third and fourth quadrant tonight, which is rebuilding the belief that we have. Okay. And then we're going to go into number 4, which is to choose the aligned action. To choose the aligned action. And if you guys remember, we may have to go back to your constitutions and rewrite and restructure how we wrote them. You say that, do you guys understand? And just say I if you understand why I bark so much about knowing what your values are, knowing what your constitution is, knowing what you stand for. Do you guys now understand why I bark so much about that? Why every time we talk about this, I was always talking about those things. Because this is the reason when you understand what those things over there are within yourself, anything else I teach you outside of that, you always know exactly where your due north is. I need you guys to know where your due north is. Once you got that, the rest of this shit's simple. It's just adding on top of what I already gave you. That's it. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Okay? I want to make this shit so goddamn simple that if you heard somebody else talking about this, you can hand it to them and explain it to them. If you can't teach this to a fucking kindergartner, we got a problem. That's how easy I want to start making everything that I do. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or to be funny about it, but it needs to be that simple. If Ben and Max can't get this, we got a problem. If Ben and Max and there's 7, if they can't get this shit down, we got a problem. It's too complicated. Anybody can remember 4 little steps. Okay? Okay, that's all we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of here or whatever so we can get things started. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now we'll go back into our thing. How you guys feeling right now about this? I told you I was gonna come out swinging. I told y'all I was gonna come out swinging. Did I not tell y'all that? Hey, I totally get it. Sometimes you gotta make them kindergartners. You gotta be what it is. Hold on 1 second. This dude. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Um, was it for a good reason? Were they messing up? Did they need some trial and error? I mean, it happens if they need it. Okay, so the number one thing is the first quadrant. Again, remember, there's 4. The first quadrant is name the frame. Okay. So this is us being stuck within ourselves. Okay. This is that stuck being when you feel like I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know why I feel this way. This is where we are. Okay. And so, what is our objective? Our objective in this is to identify the emotional story, okay, the story that we tell ourselves, that limited belief or inherited mindset behind the struggle. Now, when I say inherited mindset, we're talking about maybe something that Miss Renita, if you don't mind me going back and talking about our story with you, with the financial hardship and not being able to pay bills sometimes, not being able to eat certain things and this and the other. But then going back into it, you grew up that way. You see what I'm saying? So that's identifying that emotional story, right? That's identifying it. And the reason why this matters, the reason why we start here is because as you can see here, it says if you can't reframe it, or if you can't name it, you can't reframe it. Being able to eat, being able to have money, being able to buy cars and this and the other, that ain't got shit to do with the belief that you have. That is the objective of not having this. So if you're broke, being broke don't mean that you uh being homeless didn't mean that you're broke. You see what I'm saying? It's not a lack of money, it's a lack of resources. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we will use that word to mean a whole myriad of different things. One of the things that Jessica asked me last night was, why do you keep asking people the same question? Why do you keep asking them, what is their definition of these things? And the reason why I kept asking you guys, what does that word mean to you? What does this mean to you? Because we hide we hide meaning in our language. We hide with things actually mean in our language. So we'll use a word like struggle, but that word can mean anything. You see what I'm saying? To me, that's not what struggle is. But to Renita, that is struggle. Who am I to tell her that it's not? You see what I'm saying? So that's why this is so important. Why we need to know what these things are, what these words actually mean. Um, and again, this is also where the first lie, for the most part, that's been shaping our reality. And you heard what I said. This is the first lie that we use that shapes our reality. It's not the truth. It's just what you tell yourself. Okay. So let's go into this. So, what are the reframing questions that we would need to ask? Some of the questions we asked yesterday, right? Right. What am I making this mean about me? Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't got shit to do with out there. It has everything to do with you. So, Renita, um, what is a common theme in the story, excuse me, that you talk about that it's about you personally? So if that makes any sense. So it's not about whether you can afford this, whether you have money for that, whether you have resources for this. It all stems from a belief that you have about today and tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying that whatever happened back in the past didn't happen, because it already did. That's done. But why you're holding on to this shit, that's different. You see what I'm saying? And again, Lord knows I'm not picking on you, sweetie. I'm just using it kind of like as a frame of reference. So why am I making this mean one thing? Think about that. Or what am I making this mean about me? Because we make everything personal, don't we? What story am I repeating in my mind right now about my situation? Think about that. Think about that repeating story that we consistently keep talking about over and over and over. So let me ask you, um, what does that say about you, Renita? That story that you were telling us yesterday, and not just for Anita, Renita, you too, Jerry. Um, okay, what part? Okay, perfect. I love that. Love it. So, what part of it don't you understand? And everybody else, I need y'all to answer these as well. So, what am I what am I making this mean about me? So that question basically means that whatever happens around me doesn't necessarily affect the inner me, right? But whatever story I say about this will affect me, and that's how I see everything else. Okay, cool. I got you. Perfect. I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. Okay. So the other thing too, or whatever with this is like, where have I heard or felt this belief before? You know what I'm saying, in my life. So Rebecca, if you're talking about, not necessarily feeling confident enough in certain things or whatever, again, we talked about some of that stuff yesterday, where it pops up, where it comes up, or whatever, and then kind of like some of the reframe that we talked about before yesterday, and how we can reframe a little bit of that, right? Now, we didn't necessarily go into where it came from, because I think that once you can kind of pinpoint and understand where it originated from, was it something that somebody said? Was it kind of like Renita? And Renita, please uh, correct me if I'm wrong, please, because if I'm wrong, let me know. But if you grew up this way, then that can also be a story that you might repeat to yourself, that hey, this is just the way life is. People who actually have money, they're lucky, or they're favored by God. What I don't know, right? But there's some belief that you attached yourself to somewhere back in the day that is still shining his nasty little head today. Jerry, with the self-doubt, same difference. All the things that you've done for 17 years and plus, for you to have self-doubt, that would have to have come from somewhere else. Not necessarily just one event. Because remember, a pattern happens in threes, right? We know this. A pattern happens in threes. And something that's become repetitious is what? Anywhere from 21 to 90 sometimes. So that means that you've repeated this thing so many times that it becomes a part of you. My objective, that first quadrant, is to name that shit. Where does it come from? When I talked about smoking, I told you where my shit came from. I wanted to be a part of this particular clique of guys. But it started way before that. I wanted to be accepted. Why do I care about being accepted by a bunch of dudes? I'm not gay. So why do I care about whether I'm accepted or not? Well, let's dig a little deeper. I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted by her. And this is a true story. This is not like I read some shit or whatever. This real happened to me, right? So being taken away at a young age and knowing that I wasn't wanted, that I'm gonna feel that way, right? What fucking child would? So I had to learn to differentiate somebody else's feelings from my own. And then I had to understand that, okay, I have to build myself up because my mom ain't gonna help me do it. I saw her struggling with it, and something inside me clicked and said, nah, we not doing that. So Jerry says most likely from childhood, growing up with an alcoholic mother who was always told me I wasn't good enough. Okay. Okay. And I'm sure that you heard that so many times that shit that we start believing that, well, damn, maybe I'm not, right? We start feeling like maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not good enough, you know? And if you look at it, if you look at some of the questions at the bottom, is this belief mine or something inherited from family trauma, or is that something of survival? I mean, think about Jerry, what your mom was going through. Did she have a did she have a great childhood? Did she have a violent free, trauma free? I don't want to say drama free because here's the thing: we no none of us gets out of this shit unscathed. None of us. That shit bothers me when people say, "No, I want to be, I want to be drama free." Fuck that. You don't learn nothing. I mean, if I don't have to go through it, why would I want to? I don't want my child to go through that, but I know that unfortunately he's going to. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Genevieve? I didn't know that you were here. Hey, how's it going? Oh, okay. Look at what Renita says. I feel that sometimes if I don't struggle to stay on top, that the that I'm only a few dollars away from being homeless or hungry, and etc. Yeah, y'all see what I'm saying? Look at that statement. I feel like sometimes if I don't struggle, if I don't struggle to stay on top, you see how some of the words that we use will trigger that belief that we actually have. That's just running. You know what I'm saying? That's just running in the background, right? Do you remember when I was doing that? Do 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 do. What is that song from? All I have to do is hum it, and you're gonna know exactly what it is. You probably haven't messed with that thing in years, but you still got that thing running in the back of your mind. Okay, there you go, Mario. Right. So what I want to do with you, Renita, is I want to maybe shift that word around because you've used that word several times, and I don't know if you noticed this or not, honey, but I think that word might be a trigger for you to struggle. You see what I'm saying? Remember when I kept asking you yesterday, what does that word mean to you? Right? Because you've used it interchangeably. Think about it. You used it for to describe when you're going through something negative, but you're also using it for something positive, for I guess staying on so-called staying on top. So that word doesn't have its own definition. You're using it ambiguously. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so Jerry has five siblings, and his mom just apparently decided to pile um, all of her shit onto him specifically. This was yes, yes, yes. Okay, and I'm sure, right? And but that self doubt again, Rebecca and Jerry, that's that thing that I'm talking about, right? So it's something again that is a story that we consistently keep hashing in our minds, right? That's what we keep saying, right? So then we feel justified to say that I have a lack of confidence, that I have a lack of what was the word you used? Self doubt, right? Whereas if you think about it, how many other times have you just done stuff without thinking about, what happened in the past, and you just ran with it and nothing happened at all until you bring that up. So that's why that first question is, what am I making this mean about me? You see what I'm saying? What am I making this mean about me? Think about that. What am I making it mean? This don't mean shit. If a person dumps trauma dumps, that happens. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're a fucking dumpster for it. That's just kind of what they do. And now, unfortunately, when we're kids, that shit sucks, then it'll stay with you. I remember the first time a grown ass man started telling me his problems. His name was Mr. Trejo. I was in the fifth or sixth grade. And I remember this grown ass man sitting me down and explaining to me his whole life. His wife just passed. It was all kinds. They were on the news and everything. I'm like 10 or 11. What the fuck am I going to do? But I still remember that story. I still remember it. But what I reframed from that story was that I'm here to help. I didn't understand that at the time. But as I got into coaching and I started to understand that there's certain people that just gravitate towards other individuals, for some reason, people gravitate towards me when they're in pain or when they're extremely happy. Right? So what happens? It's not like I take it personal. If somebody trauma dumps on me. I mean, especially being a grown ass man. But I also have all kinds of tools, techniques, and strategies to deal with a lot of that stuff. Right? And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give it to you. Okay. Um, so I wanted to ask you guys, um, how do you guys feel about this? Number one, this exercise and asking questions, and I'm not gonna move on until you guys answer it. And would you use this in the future? And why would you use it? I'm not gonna move on until we have this discussion, then I'll just kind of fly through our other stuff. Miss Renita says, you're right. I guess the word struggle is really basic and common to me when describing the fight to survive. And you're right. I use it very ambiguously. Correct. Correct. Yeah. Do you understand, though, Renita, why that is so self harming? Do you understand why that's um that doesn't help you at all to use that word like that? You understand what I'm saying? That's why that word to I'm not gonna say it's the word itself, but the meaning behind it can be very off-putting and dangerous. You see what I'm saying? Because you can ask for help, say, hey man, I need a little bit of help with because I'm struggling. Okay, well, what are you struggling with? I'm struggling to stay on top. So, okay, how is that a struggle? Right? Oh, I'm struggling because I can barely feed myself. I can barely pay bills. I can barely do this. That's something totally different. So we have to be very careful. Um, okay, okay, I get that. Okay, so what specifically don't you understand, Renita? Give it to me because I'm not gonna move on until I make sure that we're all moving on together. We came here together, we leave together. And I love it when people don't understand because you know what happens, right? When you don't understand something, right? What's right after understanding? Lack of understanding is what? Come on now, y'all know I love this. Shit, this is where I come alive. This is my caterpillar and butterfly thing. I loved it. It really helps to get to the root of what's holding you back and help specifically identify those barriers. Thank you, and Jessica. That's the objective of that. Within itself, it's just for you to get to the root cause of whatever it is, right? That's all we're doing. Hold on. Unfortunately, I was raised. Oh, okay. Hey, Naomi. Unfortunately, I was raised to not ask for nothing and not let people know that I'm hungry or anything. So we just basically starved and we act like everything was okay. Honey, I'm going to ask you a really fucked up question. And I know I'm going to ask it before I ask, but I'm asking you this out of love and kindness. How's that working out for you? I mean, if I have to tap into my Dr. Phil bag, how's that working out for you? You see what I'm saying, sweetie? We, you see how those old beliefs that are running, honey, that thinking is the type of thinking that's almost like going back and going to, you know what, sweetie? You goddamn right, sweetheart. It didn't. Can I show? Let me show you something, dear. I want to show y'all something right quick, sweetie. Hold on. Do y'all remember? Hold on. Okay, let me ask you. Let me show you something, dear. So I'm about to make you laugh right quick. You remember this big ass phone? Do you remember these? Hold on. Do you remember this? Y'all remember these phones? Renita, with you walking around with that belief, that's like walking around with this big ass phone. Do you know how much they used to charge to be on this phone? It was like $2. It was like $2.99 a minute. A minute. Renita, I know you remember that. This is the type of thinking you got walking around with in your head right now. Sweetie, Renita, sweetie, if you pull this motherfucker out anywhere, you getting laughed at. I hope that you laughing at this. This is the type of shit you walking around with. You can't fit this thing in nothing. Sweetie, do you got a purse? What purse do you own that can fit this? Honey, this is the type of thinking you walking around with. Look at this big ass $2.99 a minute. Sweetheart, by the time you had a 45-minute conversation, you're gonna have to sell one of your kidneys. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm telling you? You better stop that shit. Come on now. You home now. Huh? You home now. I'm saying that, sweetheart, with love. You hear me? I'm telling you that with love. And I'm happy that you're laughing, that you find that hilarious. Because as soon as you said that, that's the first thing that popped into my head was you walking around that big ass phone. What the fuck? Oh no. So, but that's the cool thing. Jessica said, I'm crying right now. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, so here's the thing. So let's move to the next part of this. The next part is challenging the facts. What are the facts? Jerry said Rebecca's suitcase will hold that phone. Okay, I love right, but she needs a suitcase to hold that motherfucker. Come on now. Right, so quadrant two. Remember, there's 4 parts. So this is quadrant two. Challenge the facts. Right? Now, remember, the first one that we get stuck in is the internal stuff. That's the story we say to ourselves about ourselves. That's my shit. That's me taking it personal. Okay? That's me making it personal. All about me. It's about me. Okay? This one is about everything outside of us. When we get stuck on certain things, like you said yesterday, Jerry, I don't know which way to go. Renita, you've also mentioned this to me as well. I don't know which way to turn. I don't know what direction to go in. This is being externally stuck outside of you. Okay? So this is where responsibility takes over and comes in. Okay? So the objective is very simple. Separate emotion from fact. Get grounded in what's real and what's imagined, assumed, and exaggerated. Exaggerated. Do y'all remember when I told y'all about Thor Heyerdahl when he said, progress is man's ability to complicate simplicity? I'll say it again. Progress is man's ability to complicate simplicity. What does that mean? That we exaggerate shit. We make things way worse than it needs to be. That's what we do. We're not simple creatures. We're convoluted. We're complicated. That's what we are. And weird, horny, hungry. Hungry. Sex. Fuck pineapple. Right? That's what we are. We're very simple creatures. We don't need much or want much. I found that when I was homeless. What did what did Julie what did Julie say? She said you learn to live without some stuff when when you don't have anything. Okay? So why does this matter? This breaks our emotional fog. It breaks it. You can't move forward if you're reacting to a story that isn't even real. Listen to what I'm telling you. You can't move forward if you're still reacting and still playing with that big ass brick mobile phone you got. Right? Because that's what we're doing. We're sitting around with this big ass phone that today wouldn't even work. You'd have to go to China to get that motherfucker to work. So we work on those ideas that we had back in the day. We bring them forward, but you can't move any further because you're holding on to that shit, right? And it's not even real. So what do I mean it's not real? Well, let's go to our questions. What actually happened? How do I feel about it? But the fact. So not how I feel about it, but the facts. So what actually happened? What is that belief you actually hold? Remember yesterday when I was talking to Rebecca about, did anybody say that you weren't smart? Did anybody say that you weren't competent? Did anybody say anything about confidence or any of that stuff? She said, well, for the most part, no. Right? But it was an assumption based on a story that she told herself, and the past just held on to it. You know what I mean? Listen, you know what I mean? Women that done told me, Fearless, we cool, but I don't find you attractive. All right, that's cool. I mean, I don't care. Can we still do whatever? No, I'm cool on that. All right, cool. I stop asking. I didn't make it personal. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I didn't take it personal. I have been turned down enough that I don't take it personal. Like, dude, stop. If they're not interested, they're not interested. Yeah, they don't like messing with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Move the fuck on. Some of the stuff that happens to us, 99.9% of the time, it ain't nothing personal against you. It's usually some shit that they got to release of themselves. You just so happen to be the closest victim next to him. That was it. Hey, I don't know if you guys remember, but I told you once that people hurt people. Think about that. People that are already hurt other people. You want to know why? Because it makes them feel better to hurt another person. That's why it feels good to hurt. That's why hurt people, because it feels good to hurt another person when you're hurting. Right? That's what happens. So again, it's not about what happened, not how you feel about it, but what are the facts? What are the facts of the matter? What proof do I have that supports that fear? That's why I was asking Rebecca, okay, did anybody say this? So is this a real thing or imagine? Obviously it's not imagine because something happened in the past that she's still holding on to. But if you know, I will assume that Rebecca, you have done enough stuff in your life after whoever said or whatever happened to you back then that has raised your confidence in almost every area. You drive a car, you're around other people when you're driving. You know what I mean? Think about how many decisions you have to make per second when you're behind the wheel of a car. That's very important. And I'm pretty sure you drive with your kids in the car. So you're not just in charge of your life, you're in charge of their lives and everybody else's lives around you when you're behind the wheel of a car. You know what I mean? I mean, are you confident when you get in the car? Shit, sometimes depending on where I'm going, I don't know. But 90% of the time, I got it. Give me the directions and I'll go. Right? Right? What evidence is there against that belief? What evidence do you guys have? What evidence do you have, Yadi, that you're not good enough and that you feel you're going to be letting people down? What evidence do you have that supports that? That you're going to let everybody down around you? What happens if you do? What happens if you fail? Do you honestly think that people around you are going to care? Especially if it's your first time out? Man, I don't have any. Man, no one's going to care. I sure the hell know Benito won't. Because he just wants you to be happy. He just wants you to be happy. That's it. Whatever makes you happy makes him happy. Right? What about you, Renita? What are you thinking about right now? I'm not going to let you skip by. What about you, Jessica? What are you thinking about? What about you, Jerry? Rebecca? I want to know you guys' thoughts on some of this stuff. I want to know you guys' thoughts. See, whether people understand it or know it or not, I'm okay to sit in silence. I'm okay to wait. You know, we do a lot of this to ourselves, don't we? Self sabotaging. Okay, thank you, Jessica. Jessica said, "What evidence is there against this belief?" Yes. So, what evidence is there against? So, let's say that I have a fear that, like I just said about Miss Yachty. So, if there's a fear that she may have that she's gonna start letting people down, what evidence is there against that belief? Not for it, but against it. Like, what has somebody said? Hey, if you let me down, you're gonna fuck my whole life up. Is there is Yachty's success directly contributed to the life or death of somebody else? Matter of fact, Yachty, I'll ask you whether you succeed or not. Is your is the outcome directly contributed to whether somebody lives or dies, whether you succeed or not? Or excuse me, if you fail, is somebody else going to pass on? Is somebody else going to go to prison? Is somebody else's life going to be forever altered and changed because you failed at something? And again, you were talking about job wise. So we're not talking about like if you fail to, to slam on your brakes, if you're coming to a intersection or something like that. Yes, that if you fail to slam on your brakes, somebody's done. But if it's at a job and you don't know that job well yet, who's gonna live or die whether you succeed or not? So does that answer your question, Jessica? So the question is, what evidence is there against the belief? Against it. Okay. Okay. She said yes. Another question that you might want to ask yourself. Oh, here we go. I love my juicy stuff. Somebody gave me something juicy. She said, I've always felt that no matter what I did, my mother was never happy. I never felt that she loved me. So that's where that fear comes from, to this thing of my fears of trying to do everything perfect. Okay. So, Miss Shadi, let me ask you a question. If somebody else were to tell you that story, if I were to come to you and I were to tell you exactly what you just said to me, and all of you guys, I want you guys to think about whatever fears you have. I want you to think about whatever beliefs you have that has been preventing you from moving forward in life, whether it's self-doubt, confidence, whatever. What's the question down here? If I or somebody else were to come and tell you the same exact thing, same language and all, would I change? What would I challenge or question? So if I were to come and tell you what you just said to me, what would you say to me? What would you say? If I were to say to you that my objective is to be perfect, what would you say? Coach Yachty. Coach Yachty, this is yours. What would you say to me if I came to you and I said the same exact thing? Okay. You would say life is not perfect. Okay. But if I were to tell you that it's not just about that. It's I've, because of my relationship with certain people, my father, my mom, my grandparents, whatever, I never felt like I had that connection with them. And because of that, I'm always trying to live up to this expectation that I haven't reached yet. What would you say to me, Yachty? I know you would say life is not perfect. She said, I'm not sure. Okay. 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 So let me ask you, and again, we're gonna get a little, going, but we're just asking reframing questions. Did your did your mom ever tell you that she needed you to be perfect? Because what we need to do now is we have to separate your feelings from fact. Has she ever said, Yadira, I need you to be perfect? Hmm. Okay, she says I don't know what I can tell myself because I'm still working through this. So she compares my siblings like compares my siblings like why aren't you like them, or why can't you do this or do that like them? Right. Okay. So let me ask, are they perfect? Matter of fact, let me ask you another question. Um, Let me ask you another question. Has have you ever sent um have you ever sent your mom or your siblings a lottery ticket? I don't know if you're saying no to the question I didn't even ask beforehand, because that would be very Nostradamic. Okay, so you've never sent them. Have you ever thought about sending them a Powerball ticket? No. Have you ever thought about asking them what the winning Powerball numbers were? One more question. Has your mom or siblings been touched or met a gentleman by the name of Jesus Christ? Have any of them been anointed by this individual? Okay. But so I'm going to assume that just because she reads the Bible does not necessarily mean that she's been anointed, okay, or touched, or your siblings have not been either. So I'm going to assume that not one of them are perfect. And I think that we can agree that mom and our siblings are not perfect at all. Yes, because I think that again, what happens is that what do? We have to separate, my friend. We have to separate how we feel about certain things as opposed to what happened or what has been said. Okay. Do you remember that thing that I taught you, the EVLN? Did you talk to your mom about how you felt about things after you've ignored everything, right? And because you love mom, you're gonna stay loyal no matter what, because that is what that is. But here's the thing, though, Yadira. If you're going to stay loyal, honey, that means that you got to be loyal through all of it. You see what I'm saying? We don't get to pick and choose how loyal we are or when we're loyal or when we're not. So if you don't like how you're being treated, I don't care who it is or whatever. And again, I did this for my parents as well. They got to get checked, period. And it's not that we don't love our moms. It's not like we don't love our family members. But me being around y'all is causing me all kinds of internal havoc. I don't like that. That's not good for my fam. That's not good for you. That's not good for your stress level. That's not good for your husband. That is not good for anybody else around you. Especially what you guys are trying to do. All that stress ain't helping. All that stress is not helping. You see what I mean? And another question that you have to ask yourself at the end of this, and this is my favorite one, that's why I highlighted it. What am I adding to this situation? Think about that. What am I adding to this situation with my interpretation? Because Yachty, nobody asked you to be perfect. Yeah, I mean, one person may say, why can't you be more like them? Okay, yeah, that's what's up. I'm not like them. So, I mean, I don't know. We do all different types of things. My little brother is one of the best artists I've ever seen in my life. Right? Why can't I be more like him? Because I'm not designed that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not designed that way. Neither are you. Right? I'm sorry. I'm looking at, when you guys say something, I'm looking at the screen over here and it looks like I'm not really looking. So sorry about that. Right? Are you guys understanding what we're saying here? I know that this is like really deep. I do understand that, but I really need to make sure that, again, I don't want to walk away from this and making sure that you guys don't understand what we're doing here. Right? At first, like I said, these presentations that I create, they're cookie cutter. But the way that this works is if we're asking each other questions. You know, that's how this works. Are you guys still with me? Can I get a hell yeah? How you feeling there, Yachty? Can I get a hell yeah? Okay. Okay. How are you guys feeling about these exercises so far? I just need one or two of y'all to tell me, like, what do you guys think about these? I'm a bit you, honey. Listen, man, you're a human being having having human problems. Not excuse me, having human emotions. You're a human being having human emotions. You're fine, yo. You're fine. Besides myself, you got me. I'd say besides myself, you got your husband. You got Jessica. You got our. You got Jerry Bear. You got Renita. You got Rebecca. Jessica. The fuck. You got. You got a whole team of people with you. Yachty, it ain't just you no more. It ain't just you no more. You know, you got us too. You know, you got us. I've told you on multiple occasions. If you, man, I am not hard to find. You know how to find me. All right, let's move to that next one, though, man. Let's kind of get through this a little bit. So, quadrant three is the rebuilding of the belief within itself. Now, this is the internal movie. Remember, internal being stuck, external being stuck. Now we're back to us again, internal moving. Okay. So, the objective with this is, man, that's what I love hearing. Thank y'all for saying that. You know what I'm saying? And Yachty, I mean, again, sweetheart, do you seriously think I would have kept you around if you if you were not good enough to be around us? I'm telling you, Miss Jessica, one day I'm gonna have to have her ass come on just so she can tell y'all exactly the type of dude that I actually am off of all this stuff. Like, I will cut people the fuck off quickly. Remember, uh, Yachty, when we met you, I just had to let somebody go. When I met you, remember when you walked into our store, I just let somebody go not that long before that. So my cutoff game is vicious. Vicious. I've always kept in contact with you. Always made sure you were okay. You know? When I say that I fuck with you, that means I really fuck with you. So stop that. Come on now. All right, so this objective is create a new empowering belief or frame one that supports who you've decided to become. Not who you were, but where we're going. Where we're going. Okay? This is a heart of transformation. When y'all talk about, man, when you hear people talk about, I changed, I transformed, I saw the light, I am enlightened. This is what they're talking about right here. You are literally replacing that old fucking phone that Renita got stored somewhere with something new and empowering and true to you. Not true to me, because it's not my shit. True to you. Your stuff, not mine. Yours. So let's move on right quick. All right, so reframing those questions. What would I rather believe about myself and my situation? Would you like to believe that that I'm not worth much? Would you like to believe that I'm not good enough? Would you like to believe that I harbor self-doubt? Or would you like to believe shit, man, I may not be this, but I show up every goddamn time. I may not be, I may have self-doubt, but I'm a damn good father. I may have self-doubt, but I'm a damn good friend. You see what I'm saying? What other situation? What? How can we reverse that? I may not have I may down myself sometimes because of my lack of confidence, but shit, man, I'm about to be a very confident person. Starting now. And again, all we're doing is asking, what do you want instead of that? If this is a belief structure that you've been holding on to, what new belief would you rather have? These questions are built more towards what's possible. What belief supports the life that I'm trying to build? I want y'all to think about that. Think about that one sentence. Matter of fact, I want you guys to answer that for me right quick. What belief supports the life that I'm trying to build? So what do you need to believe to support the life that you're trying to build for yourself? And as you guys know, I'm really asking. And I am not moving forward until y'all answer them. Okay, we go. So sometime my trusty notepad. Okay. So Renita, if we're talking about money, okay, perfect. But honey, hold on. See, there we go with that word, that language again, sweetie. No, 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 no. What does that word mean? I need you to be a little bit more descriptive, Renita. So when you say I just need to believe myself. Fuck that. What does belief mean? Because you've already believed in yourself. Look how far that's gotten us. You see what I'm saying? You've already believed in yourself. Look at where that's gotten us. No, 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 no. We remember when we talked about. Hold on, let me go back into my. Okay, this is 29. Let me go back into my bag right quick. So when I talk about my constitution, this is what we're talking about right here. This is what forms all that other shit that we're just talking about. See, when I say, oh, I got a constitution, you know that a constitution for me, you know what my constitution looks like because you've seen it before. So if I'm talking to somebody who don't know me, and I'm like, man, I stand on my constitution, they might think that that word is just a word. They might think I'm talking about the American Constitution. But Renita, you know, when Fearless says he stands on the Constitution, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. There's action behind what that word means for me, right? That word, when you say I just need to believe in myself, fuck belief. Give me a definition of what that means, sweetie. Like, give me some steps. What do you need to be doing in order to believe in yourself? Do you need to show up a little bit more? Do we need to make a plan of action? What do we need to make a plan of action for? What do we need to be writing down? What do we need to be doing? What action steps do we need to be taking? When we talk about belief, that's what I'm talking about. So we're not talking about that superfluous shit, that 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 right on the table type stuff. I'm talking about we gonna dig deep. We gotta dig deep. What does that mean? Give me some action. Like I said, take my shit, run with it. When you told me that you want to be more godlike, you think God wants to struggle? God didn't have to struggle whatsoever. Did he not? I don't know how well y'all know the scripture. Scripture says that Jesus fed all kind of people with just two fish. Not just in belief, but in action. You see what I'm saying? When Jesus talked about how you get to heaven, he wasn't just talking about just believe. He was also talking about action that goes along with that. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. That right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what belief is. That's what belief is. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Right there. Right there. That's what it means. It means to take more action. Perfect. We can even get a little bit more deeper on that word too. Action. Cool. But I'll take it. As far as selling myself and getting more sociable. Fuck yes. That's a great start. You see what I'm saying? So now that word's not so ambiguous. Like, ambi, ambi, what is what is the word I'm, ambiguous, ambig, you know what I'm saying? God damn it! Look like I'm having a whole fucking stroke over here. The ambiguity of that word. Maybe I believe I should bury the past and be more accountable. Maybe, Jerry. Ambiguous. Thank you, goddammit. Ambiguous. Ambiguous. Thank you. Thank you, Renita. Jerry, I mean, maybe though, buddy. Maybe. And here's the thing, bro. And if you don't mind, can we go back up to where we were? What's this 20? Let's go back up here again, bro. What belief supports the new life that you're trying to build real fast, right? What supports it? Again, though, Jerry, let me give you this, bro. You can, if you want, if you need to bury it, then bury it. But give it that ritual that it deserves, though. Give it that respect that it deserves, because that belief, Jerry, is taking up most of your life. So I'm just saying, my guy, if, I mean, if you really want to do like a ritual type thing, I don't see why you don't dress up, get the wife and kids, dress up a little bit, write down all of these things that happen, write them down on a piece of paper. Go to what is that store? What is that store? The Dollar Tree. Go get you a little box down there. You and the kids, y'all can, you know what I'm saying? You and the wife and kiddos can paint the box because it's a fucking coffin. Going out back, bury that shit. Bury it the right way, man. Give it the respect it's due. You've been carrying that shit for that long. I think it. I think it. If you're gonna bury it, do it the right way. Sometimes when we actually, well, it's one thing when you bury something mentally, but it's something totally different. You bury it physically. Y'all see what I'm saying? When you bury things mentally versus when you bury it physically. I'm just saying, man. Okay. Okay. What does your future self believe about this moment right now? Oh yeah, for sure. Mhm. Miss Renita says that I don't think that we can bury our things because unfortunately, it's a part of what has shaped us. Um, what I try to do is accept, thank God that it's over, and make a better person. Correct. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But like I said, there's some things that you can. And again, here's the thing. We're talking about symbolically. When you bury a person, they're in the ground, right? But that person's not gone. As long as you still remember them, they will always be with you. Good, bad, or indifferent. But they're still buried. They got the proper burial. So that's all we're talking about. We're talking about something that's not only physical, but that's mental. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's almost like me telling somebody to forget your past. Why would you do that? There's no need to do that. I don't forget mine. It's what helps me. I Because of my past, I could be here with you in the present. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, if we don't. And again, like I said, it's metaphorically. But does it actually get buried? No. But sometimes it's just the ritual of it means you can say goodbye. You can always go and visit it. You know where you put it, right? If I go visit my mom in a cemetery, I still see her in my mind. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Ms. Yachty said that you feel when it doesn't hurt anymore, or when you don't cry when you talk about the situation. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I agree. 100%, guys. Mental anguish is a bitch. You're right. Okay. You're right. I love that, Jerry. Thank you so much, man. Y'all see what he said? I love that, man. Thank you. You okay, buddy? Okay. Go get some water. My guy. Right? Okay. So here's the thing, guys. It is 10 o'clock. We have one more or whatever, but tomorrow is going to be kind of a um it's going to be, I think, pretty awesome. We're going to stretch this out for one more day. I'm going to give you the fourth and final thing tomorrow, and then we will rehash this. I don't want to say we're going to close it, but we're going to put a lid on it. Now, we're not going to lock it because I want to make sure I give each and every one of you this quadrant so you know exactly what it is and how it works. Okay? I'm going to send it to all of you, and then you guys can print it out, do whatever you guys need. But tonight has been, again, an amazing night. We're going to do some amazing things, guys. I really believe that. But yeah, so have a great night. Thank you guys so much for coming. I will see you tomorrow. Get some rest. And like I always tell you, man, dream big. Okay? Like Miss Anya would say, bye. Hey, hold on, Miss Anya. Oh my gosh. I don't think I have your thing on here. I was about to play out Miss Anya's thing. You guys are so fucking, hold on. Matter of fact. Hold on, let me see if I can find her. Hold on, let me see if I can find her. Bye, guys.
Vandaag ben jij de penny en ik je sugar daddy. Je weet toch nog zero betaald de bill. Jij krijgt alles wat je wil.